Yo estoy puesto pa' ti, tú te me quitas. Diablo, que picaste la chamaquita. El corazón lo puso en la neverita. Dice que te verá.
It's time for Cookies and Crime listener stories. This is the fetus in the building sent in by Anonymous. Anonymous says, my brother, now 17, has experienced a lot of paranormal weird stuff. My mom told me all about them. Apparently babies can see ghosts, and I guess he saw them. There are a few stories, but I'll tell you the most interesting one. This is what my mom told me. Your brother was only 4 and we were at a toy store for his birthday and he was choosing out toys. And one thing struck me as odd. Mama, I want that toy, but can we get 2 please? Your brother being normal and greedy, I just thought he wanted 2 toys for the fun of it. So I bent down and asked, why, Why do you want 2 toys? And he replied with, my friend always takes my toys. If we buy 2, I can have one and he can have one too. I felt a bit uneasy with this statement. I was thinking, could this be an imaginary friend or is this bad news? I was very worried because this wasn't the first time your brother had befriended a ghost. So that night, I called a priest over, and he came the next morning. He told me someone in the building was keeping a fetus. I was flabbergasted. I was questioning my son's safety until the priest said it wasn't a bad entity. It was a baby who just wanted to play with your brother's toys. The priest told us to put pinwheels on the window, and I did. The baby didn't ever come back, and it had just as much fun spinning the wheels on the window.
An entitled Karen secretly records me and tries to get me fired from an athletic program as a coach, claiming that I was too out of shape to be a coach on this kid's program. But my boss was absolutely not having any of this and put this Karen right in her place. Here's what happened. So I recently had an emergency appendectomy and recovery has been very slow. So because of that, I had to take time off from my own athletics, but worse, from coaching in the kids sports program I'm currently involved with. The experience as a whole made me step back and realize I really built my whole identity around being active and healthy. So the hit my physical abilities took as a result of being sick, as well as the healing process, has made me feel lost. I've been working to regain the joy I used to experience from exercise without going, oh, you used to be so much faster than that, or saying something like, your technique used to be so much stronger. I don't want to feel like I don't fit in anymore. I want to enjoy myself regardless of the level I'm at. But ironically, the anxiety about not being able to do what I used to has made regaining those abilities a bit difficult. It made me self-conscious about exercising in public spaces, but I was starting to get over it as friends convinced me the source of my concerns were all in my head. There is no way to get back to it other than training. So despite the anxiety, I started running again as soon as the doctors approved it. I went to the local track and just did a few slow laps each morning, building up speed every few days. And I've only just been authorized to add some sprints and bodyweight strength training to the mix. Occasionally, there are a few other people at the track, but I didn't really notice because I run with headphones on and I try to zone out in these lighter sessions. But little did I know that my friends were wrong. It was not all in my head. In fact, I was being watched, and more than that, I was being judged, which really is my worst nightmare at this stage of building back my strength and speed. On Friday, I was setting up for practice at the kids program, and the head coach asked me into his office because apparently a parent had filed a complaint. When I step into his office, I see a parent I don't really know too well, and this is where the entitled Karen steps in, because she had some very specific complaints about me. The meeting almost didn't happen because of the Karen's initial refusal to put on a mask, which was required by facilities at the time. But eventually, her desire to tell on me for whatever she thought she had on me overrode her freedoms to infect everybody. I was a bit nervous, as anyone would be when they're called to a meeting with their boss over a complaint, but I figured it was basic complaints, like maybe she wanted her kid to start more, or maybe she wanted her kid at a different position or something like that. But instead, I sit down in the office, and this entitled Karen is playing my boss of a video of me running on the track. And this was all filmed from very far away. Mind you, this track is surrounded by stadium-style risers.
In the end of the summer, Sable starting to create stocks for winter. They starting to stash their food. And Buddy is not an exception. I brought for him 2 meat sticks. He chose the biggest one, and now he's looking for the best place to stash it. And as you can see, It's definitely not an easy task for a sable. And it's very important for Buddy that no one could find his secret stashes, so he's covering it with the toilet paper. And here you can see he's tearing it apart just to make it more convenient to cover his big meatball. Buddy did not even refuse my help. So life of a sable is not an easy thing.